you're in the gray. Hey guys, this is Suzanne. You're in the gray, meaning that you're not black and white. You're not on one spectrum of the other spectrum. You're still undiagnosed in the gray. Today I'm going to be talking about MOLST. Now, it could be varied in different states. Thank God my foster mom works for the ambulance corps. When I was telling her that I have a DNR, but it didn't really fit my needs because I don't really want to be like non-resuscitated. I just don't want to be necessarily on life support so long. So she was like, have you heard of MOLST? I'm like, I've never heard of MOLST. And she's like, well, most people that are not really sick, don't hear about MOLST. And I'm like, enlighten me. So, MOLST, which is MOLST, it stands for Medical Orders for Life-Sustaining Treatment. Now, on the website, it says that it should be printed on, like, pink paper. I asked Barb, is that really necessary? And she was like, if you have this and it's signed by your PCP, it's a legal document that you have, binding document from you to your practitioner, and will be copied in and saved to your hospital file, and you'll be good. Doesn't need to be pink. I'm like, okay. She's like, the reason why it's pink is so it's highly recognizable with your other documents. And let me tell you, I've seen my fucking folder of medical documents. It's big. So I get that. And granted, my printer, I don't think it was going to be able to handle that pink paper. So the first sheet is, it asks you if you do want to have a DNR or other life-sustaining treatment. These forms are actually pretty easy. My DNR form was kind of like difficult to fill out, but it's really like, Section A, resuscitation instructions when the patient has no pulse or is not breathing. And it gives you like which one you want to check. And then Section B is consent for resuscitation instructions. Section C is the physical signature for Sections A and B. And then advanced directives, which is a health proxy, living will, organ donation, documentation, oral advancement directive. Section E is orders of other life-sustaining treatment and future hospitalization when the patient has a pulse and the patient is breathing, which for me, this is something I would really want to, check off and what have you. And then Section F is the review and renewal of most orders, which I really like because sometimes a DNR is like, once you have it, like, it doesn't really have, well, the one that I filled out at least, I could be really wrong. But like, I would have to like redo the whole thing and to update it. With MOLST, it tells you like, was there a change? Like, what did change? No new change, and like, they give you they give you 2 sheets worth. Which I really like that it has that, not just like being like, throughout your I refer as journey. It really sucks. Your time through this with the new symptoms, what have you. And what sparked this is like about a year ago when I did go blind, and they had no idea. I mean, they have a slight idea now, but before they had no idea. And I actually had someone once a week call me to make sure I wasn't decomposing, as my doctor directed that I should need to do that. That's really scary to hear, and also like kind of life-threatening to the patient, and something very heavy to talk about. And that's when I probably should have went to therapy, but I waited 8 months after that, because I'm stubborn in that aspect. So then I had a DNR because I was like, man, if I'm that, and that's a personal choice. And definitely, like, for one good thing is, like, I'm happy that Barb and I had that talk about, like, well, what about MOLST? Like, what about that? And I was like, what is that? I like that kind of communication that we had. If you're in, when you're not the primary patient, you're the secondary support network, and you're like, maybe I should bring that up. It wouldn't be offensive. It's a nice dialogue to have. So now that I've moved out of that, I don't have once a week someone call on me, and I guess I became more stable. So now that's why I'm looking at MOLST. I'm going to fill that baby out today. I've been avoiding it. It's been on my coffee table for a couple months now, at least about a month and a half, because it is something very serious to fill out. At age 25, and as much as I'm all about ageism, I never anticipated that this time in my life I would be filing out MOLST and updating my will and updating my health proxy forms, and I had never, and who can predict this kind of stuff, unless like you've had like a whole track record of it, but